Be of free will to ask, and you will get direction. So these are the areas that we'll be covering today, meaning how it operates, that is the system of petty cash book, and then the format and preparation, which is actually part of presentation. Now the introduction part. Actually, this is actually what we covered in our previous session, whereby we said what is a cash book. It is a type of account which is used to record all receipts and payment in the business, one form of cash over a given period of time, only transaction which involves cash transactions. Types of cash book, we have one column cash book, two column cash book, three column cash book, and finally the petty cash book. Now this is where actually our focus will be focused today. This is where we put our energies today, which is actually the petty cash book. So the meaning, what is petty cash book? The type of cash book which is used to record day-to-day expenditures. So in every business undertaking, there are expenditures. There are petty expenditures. It is called petty because they are minor, they are small expenses. These expenses cannot be undertaken by the chief cashier. You know, the work of the chief cashier is actually to monitor the big expenses in a business. So the minor expenses which are supposed to be carried out in a business are normally undertaken by a person called petty cashier. So petty cashier is supposed to be dealing with all petty expenses, all small expenses. So day to day expenses. That is used to record minor regular expenses such as office tea, bus fare, fuel, newspaper, cleaning, pins, and casual labors. So this is actually the why we need the petty cash book. So the petty cash book is mandated to record day-to-day activities, and these activities are actually happening now and then. Office tea, bus fare, fuel, newspaper, cleaning, pins, and casual labors, and the rest. So these are expenses which are normally incurred into the day and day undertaking of the what? Of the business. So far, so good. Now we have seen what is petty. What is petty cash book? Who is in charge of petty cash book? We have said a person who is in charge of petty cash book is called petty cashier. System. The operation part of the petty cash book. Now, when you talk about petty cash book, the cash allocated for petty expenditure for a specific period is entered into credit side of the general cash book and on the debit side of the petty cash book. So in the general cash book, you enter it in the credit side. In the petty cash book, you enter it in the debit side as receipts. So when you are preparing the petty cash book, remember, we'll be having one column symbolizing all the types of, symbolizing all the receipts, and the credit side, which is the payment, showing all the expenses. Now, there are two types of systems which are actually normally used. One is called ordinary system. Now, what do you mean by ordinary system? Under this system, a lump sum amount of cash is given to the petty cashier. When the whole amount is spent, the petty cashier submits the details of the petty expenditure recorded in the petty cash book to the head or the chief cashier for review. Now, when you are dealing with the ordinary system of petty cash book, one thing you need to know is that you'll be given a lump sum money, and this lump sum money, you spend everything. If you incur or you spend everything, then you submit the report or you submit your expenditures to chief cashier, who will go through it, and then after going through it, he will do the reimbursement. He will give you back the money, and this money will be used by you for the purpose of running the business. That is why we have petty cash book, which is called ordinary. Number two, we have what you call imprest system. Now, what do you mean by imprest system? Under imprest system, a fixed amount of money known as float or imprest money is given to the petty cashier to meet the petty expenditure for a agreed period of which is consistent of 1 week or a month or a day. It's either a week or a month. So it can be on 2 weeks basis, on weekly basis, or after 2 weeks or after a month. So a petty cashier will be given what we call imprest money or float money. Now the float money must be spent within a given period of time, which is actually given maybe for a week or for a month. At the end of agreed period, the petty cashier submits the details of expenditure incurred by him into the chief cashier. The total cash spent by the petty cashier during the period is reimbursed to him, and the total cash available to spend at the start of the next period becomes equal to the original sum. Now let me explain something here. When you talk about imprest system, it is a system whereby you are given money called imprest money. The imprest money is given to the petty cashier. The petty cashier receives the money, and after receiving the money, the petty cashier will spend the money over a given period, which is either a week or a month. Now, after spending the very amount of money, it is required that at the end of the week, at the end of the month, the petty cashier will submit the report to the chief cashier. The chief cashier will go through the report, and whatever money which has been spent by the petty cashier will be reimbursed, and the balance amount will be carried forward for the next financial period or for the next week or for the next month. Now that is how the petty cash system operates. So sometimes in the question you will be told, how is the imprest system operating? So number one, the sum is given to the petty cashier by the chief cashier. The chief cashier will always wait for the petty cashier to submit the report of all the expenditure within that period of time which is agreed upon the two parties. Now once the amount has been spent, by the chief cashier, no, the petty cashier, the amount which has been spent, now assuming that you are given 10,000, you have spent 9,000. So out of the 10,000, you have spent 9,000. So the 9,000 will be given back to you by the chief cashier. And then you start another week with 10,000, with the lump sum, with the imprest money. So imprest money has been set. If it is 10,000, 10,000 will be spent. If it is 20,000, 20,000 will be spent. And if 20,000 is spent over the given period of time, the chief cashier will give back or reimburse the petty cashier the 10,000. Any question? So at any time, the total of the petty cash balance and all expenditure that have not been reimbursed to the petty cashier is equal to the agreed float. At any given time, the total imprest money must be the same from the first month to the ending of the month, from the first week to the ending of the weeks. So that is what we need to have in mind. So any question as far as imprest system is concerned. Now let me show you the format. Now this is actually the format of petty cash book. You give the company name, then the petty cash book. Now looking at the debit side, we have what you call receipts. So you'll be writing receipts. So we have the date, details, voucher number, which other books talk about volume number. We have the total, expenses one, which can be stationery, expenses 2, which can be telegram, expenses 3, cleaning, expenses 4, any other type of expenses, donation, refreshment, etc. So you can actually classify your expenses on the basis of their type. So it is critical to know this. The petty cash book, the debit side, the payment side has only one column, and the payment side has several columns. That is how you can distinguish a petty cash book from other type of cash book, from one column cash book, from two column cash book, from three column cash book. So it is necessary and it is vital to have this in mind. Any question as far as petty cash book is concerned? Any question? So we can read the question now. Now this is the problem to be solved. Now who can read us the problem? Volunteer? I'm asking for a volunteer from your side. Yes. Dollars? Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, you disappeared.